Hello everybody, I'm Oliver and this is Chaotic Bibliophile. Today I bring you a very different video. I've decided to lump this with my Se Habla Spanglish series, by which I mean 2 videos, where I talked about my life a little bit. I gave a bit of a reading update, a bit of what music I've been enjoying, some films, whatever. However, today I am focusing only on one theme: fertility preservation. Yay! In case you don't know, I am a trans man. I came out more than a year ago now. In this channel, I don't remember exactly when, because there was a bit of a mismatch between the time I filmed the video and uploaded it, but it's been a few months now, and I linked that video down below. I'm very proud of it, even though that tiny last minute editing mistake still bothers me. There is a jump where I talk about how I was really grateful that everyone reacted so positively when I came out as non-binary at first, but then I was like tinkering with that section and I deleted that clip, and now it's just me saying, however, that is no longer the case, and I'm like, oh, otherwise it's such a great video. Anyways, it's just the perfectionist in me. I know no one cares. Possibly a lot of people didn't even notice. Anyways, why I want to talk about fertility preservation. I find in general that fertility preservation is not often discussed, especially when it comes to trans masc people. I think because it's a costly process, it is already so hard to get a dysphoria diagnosis and to get yourself started on HRT, that sort of is the main focus. And also a lot of people who are seeking to transition are either young or just not interested in having children generally. So fertility preservation becomes a very niche thing. I also don't know any cis women who have done it, but if you are a cis woman looking into fertility preservation, I think actually this video might be really helpful for you. And also I wanted to do this now because I'm filming this intro a week before pre-procedure treatment, you could call it. I'll get into this later. And I thought, okay, I'll do an overview, then vlog a little bit as I move along these days. And then after the procedure, I can film an outro, sort of wrapping everything up. I hope you guys enjoy this or find it interesting. Important facts about me. So I am 28. I have never had any sort of hormonal treatments. I have never been on the pill, and I haven't had any testosterone shots yet, or gels or pills or whatever. I'm Chilean, I've moved to the UK, and so I'm doing this in London because I plan to stay here for a few years, and in the UK generally, visa gods permitting, you know how it is. But I am looking to settle here long term, so that is why I plan to do fertility preservation here. Why I want to do it? Well, I have wanted to be a father. It's definitely not something I'm thinking in the short term or anything. For the longest time, I thought I would adopt. I still think it's a great idea. However, living as an immigrant and being trans and queer is just more difficult. It is objectively too difficult. And because I have never necessarily tied the idea of parenthood to having a partner or to having a romantic partner, I just think the freedom of being able to do it yourself, well, do it yourself in my case is quite an overstatement, but you know what I mean. The idea of being able to have biological children just seems more feasible. Now, the thing is, trans masc people can get pregnant, but yeah, if you are planning to do it, it is better to do it before you transition, because the quality of the egg will be better. You are not necessarily going to be rendered infertile by T, but it is a strong possibility. And so again, because it is a costly, heavy-duty process, you just want to do it before HRT, ideally. Of course, if you're young, it's easier. Finally, I also want to say that I understand that my position is very, very privileged. This is all happening so fast in comparison to other people who have to go through the NHS, because honestly, waiting for as long as I have has felt quite torturous. I can't even imagine having to do it for like 5 years. So if that is your situation, I am so deeply sorry. Trans healthcare should be a human right. It is as serious as necessary as everyone says. So yeah, on that cheery note, let's start talking about the process. All right, so you've decided to freeze your eggs. What does that entail? In a nutshell, from the first day of your period until like 10 or 12 days, depending on your body, you're going to start injecting yourself with stimulants that make the follicles grow and develop, so the eggs will mature in the ovaries, and then they can be what I called harvested. But of course, it's never as easy as just that. How are you gonna pay for it? You might think you wanna go NHS, that they would have some sort of egg freezing scheme, and they do, but it's only under certain conditions. I don't even know if you can do it if you're a cis woman with no other concerns other than I might want to be a mom when I'm 40. I do know you can do it if you have any sort of health conditions that might impact your fertility in the future. If you are trans, this is not an option. The NHS won't pay for it. The second option is looking into fertility clinics that might have egg sharing program. So you donate a percentage of the eggs and then it's cheaper for you. To be honest, I didn't even look into this option because I am fat, and that is usually a pretty big deterrent. They have very strict like BMI controls. Also, I think diabetes runs in my family. But if you're really young, if you're fit, if you don't have any sort of chronic conditions or stuff that runs in your family, it is worth looking into. You know, you never know, and it might be cheaper. And then finally, the option that I had to take was going private. That is really expensive. A lot of places have 0% interest rates to pay for the procedure itself, so you should look into that. However, I wasn't eligible because I haven't been living in the UK for 3 years. Be aware of that. If you have been living in the place where you're freezing your eggs for a long time, then this is a good shout for you. It wasn't for me. I was pretty upset when I found out. But in any case, you still need a lot of seed money because you need to pay for tests up front, you need to pay for medicine up front, and you will need to pay for at least a percentage of the procedures. How much will it cost you depends on your body and whether you want sedation or not. But most places will say like around 5,000 quid. You should be prepared to shell out at least 6,000. And if you definitely don't want to go over budget, have 7 or 8 just in stock. And then if you have some left over, but if you don't want to be short, if you don't want to be like stressed about it, that's how much it would cost you. I will break this down a little bit more later, but yeah, just so you know. And then if you're doing private like I am, you have to select your clinic. And most clinic will have like 15-minute calls or Zoom video calls to explain the procedure and blah, blah, blah. I had those with 5 places: IVF Matters, King's Fertility, IVF London, Create Fertility, and the London Women's Clinic. I ended up going with the London Women's Clinic for many reasons. First of all, they were the only ones that had gender affirming care under one of the reasons why you would want to do fertility preservation, which led me to believe they would be better at handling gender stuff. And the doctor and the nurses are. However, structurally they aren't, so their forms are not gender neutral. And even then the nurse was like, I'm sorry, we're here to facilitate everything that you need. However, you have to understand that, you know, when you are in the operating room, tensions run high, and so please excuse us if we get it wrong. Which, I mean, if I'm there being scraped from the inside, I'm not gonna complain if someone misgenders me. But the fact that they are defensive about it, and also that they don't have gender neutral forms, it just seems like such a bare minimum, especially since they do fertility procedures for AMAP people as well. So like, anyways, I still had heard really good things from friends of friends, and also their clinic is quite close to where I live, and that is really helpful, so that's why I went with them. I would also recommend Create Fertility, which is one of the top rated ones, and they have cheaper initial consultations. And then King's Fertility I didn't love because they said that in order for them to give me like a free consultation or like initial call, I would have to be signed up with them as a patient, and they sent a bunch of forms right off the bat, and I was just like, I can't deal with this. In contrast, London Women's Clinic called me and have since then been super proactive in replying, and they have like assigned nurses and admin people that reply to your emails, and they're so on top of it. So it is expensive, yes, but if you have the money, then I do believe it's worth it. Now, location wise, it might not be what's best for you, but yeah, if that is one of your options, I do recommend London Women's Clinic. We'll see if I think the same after I've done the procedure. So after the initial consultation and you deciding that you're going with them, you have to book your actual first consultation, which is with a doctor, and that is over £500. I believe it was £550, and that includes the consultation and also tests that you have to take. You have to go take a few tests, then you go in for like an ultrasound kind of thing, and then they tell you basically how fertile they think you are and what the plan would look like, how much medicine you need, etc. Then you have to pay $230 for more tests. These are screening tests to make sure you don't have HIV or hepatitis or any of that, and you take that a little bit before you're going to start the pre-treatment medicine. And then you have to pay for the pre-treatment medicine. They do give you a prescription and you can go out and buy it somewhere else. However, their prices are pretty competitive, and also it's not as easy as to just buy it, because basically it's pens. Like if you've seen EpiPens, you'll see it later in the vlog section. It is a special type of syringe, and it comes with the medicine, it comes with the dosage kind of thing, and it has to be kept in the fridge. So it's not like you can just go out to any Boots and get it. It's quite the hassle. You might be able to save couple £100, which I know it's still a lot of money, but again, if you're tired and stressed and you're already doing this, you might as well go with the pharmacy that they work with. Then I found out that that is actually medicine for 9 days, which is the standard. However, there is a possibility that your body will require more medicine that you will have to pay for. In my case also, I was recommended to not start on the same month. So originally I was going to do it in August, and the doctor was like, you should take vitamins for the entirety of August, and then you can go through the cycle in September. So that is why I decided to do, even though waiting for a month has been a bit it's still better because you have a better chance after taking the medicines. I have been taking coenzyme 10, vitamin D, because I was already vitamin D deficient. My GP had already recommended it. It's not the over-the-counter stuff. It's like a heavy pill that I have to take every week because it's like that high a dosage. And also folic acid. So I've been taking those for more than a month now, and hopefully that will make me even more fertile. They also tell you not to drink too much, which I've been trying to do. And just keep exercising, blah, blah, blah. Try to not have too much caffeine, etc., etc. I've been mildly successful at some of these things. I've been trying to take care of myself as best I can, but So that is everything. And then you have a nursing consultation, which is where they explain to you that they're going to send you 1,000 consent forms that I haven't even looked at yet, which are all about what to do with them if something happens to you, what you want to do with whatever consent forms, blah, blah, blah. Also, she explains what types of medicines you've received and how they work. And so basically you start, when they tell you, you start with a stimulant one that you inject yourself at night. You do it on the stomach and it's subcutaneous, so like it's not straight on the bloodstream. You can just like rub a little bit of screen, and so basically you do that throughout. But then on the third or so day you start injecting yourself with one that like stops you from maturing the eggs too fast, I think. And in between you have to go in for scans, and thankfully the scans, regardless of how many you have, are included in the price. But you can have like around 3 or 4. The first one is 3 days in, so they see how much the like eggs are growing or like the follicles are developing, whatever. And then they say, oh, it's going according to schedule. Oh, it's going too slow. Oh, it's going too fast. Let's see what happens. When they finally tell you you're ready, which would be any time between 9 to 14 days, I think. But the standard is like around 10 and 12 days from the first day of your period, you go in for the procedure. You have to inject yourself once more with something called the trigger, and then you have to go in this very specific window of 32 to 36 hours. And so it's all very precisely timed. All the injections have to be taken between this time and this time. And they lay it all out, they explain it to you, but then they email you. So I think that is good that they like go the extra mile. They are available for like phone consultations or emails in case you're getting anxious. And they also offer a free counseling session, or free, included in the price. I will take the counseling because it's free, but also I have like my own therapist that specializes in the transgenders. So I'm not like that fussed, but I am going to see how it is. So I'll tell you about that when I finally have that session. So yeah, that's what it is. And then the procedure is 3,200 pounds, but not sedation. So if you want to be asleep, which I don't want to be, but if you want to be asleep, you have to pay like 400 quid more, which even if I had wanted to be asleep, I think that price tag would have dissuaded me. By now, I've received my medicine packages. I've had my nursing consultation, as I said. It is quite intense. I'm not like super happy with it, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like as I've talked about this, I've gotten more and more grumpy, but you know, I've chosen to do this. I'm going through with it. I have been talking for so long, so much longer than I expected. Even with editing, I think it'll be a bit long, but hey, thank you for watching and see you for my first injection day. Yay. Hey, so please excuse the sweat. It's been very warm today. The process had to start early because my body was like, let's freaking go. But basically I had to call and say, hey, this is happening now. And they scheduled me in for scans, and they gave me a very comprehensive schedule with how it would work. So I download their app. They work with an app called Solve, and it's actually quite good. It just notified me that I need to inject myself because I set my time for 7 p.m. and it needs to be at the same time every day. So that's another thing to be mindful of. And I'll tell you how it is and how I feel in a couple days. But yep, it's all going, guys. All right, this is a very different angle, and also excuse the noise. It is so freaking warm today. I am not closing that window, sorry. We are rolling with what we have. This is the medicine. It's called Pergoveris. It's like a pre-filled pen with 3 doses. Okay, that is driving me a little bit insane, but we roll. So yeah, we keep going. Next up, I'm going to do an update when I have to do the next injection. So starting Tuesday, I'll start with morning injections as well. So it's not Tuesday yet, but I wanted to re-record just in case. I haven't looked at the footage yet, but yeah, just show you the medicine itself and the injection and stuff, because it was a little messy that day, and also give you a little bit update. It's been hard. It's been really hard. The medicine just has messed up with me. Like, it's made me very physically and emotionally just exhausted. Apparently tiredness is a very common symptom, and then borderline depression is not very common, but I was kind of anticipating it. I thought that might happen to me. I have a tendency anyways, and how I feel around my period and stuff like that. So it's not been great. Thankfully I've had a lot of support, and even at work I managed to change shifts so I get some time off. But just like, have that in mind that you'll definitely feel just tired, and also emotionally you might feel a bit weird. Let's try this again. This is the box. This is what it comes with. It's the pen and a lot of needles. I have yet to have to use more than 1 needle every time. This is 3 doses, and so you do this. And so this has 900 because my dose is 300. This is by no means standard. All of this was taught to me and advised by a professional, so I'm not saying any of this is standard. I am just documenting and sharing my process in case anyone's curious, and also for the sake of my own sanity. So this is the sort of needle head. You pop it up in here, and then you do this, And then I'm not gonna demonstrate on camera because I don't think I'm qualified to do that. But basically you just insert it that way around this bit, so like alongside the line of your belly button or like right underneath, and then you press this. And the very important thing is that you have to make sure you pinch the skin. Doesn't have to be super tight, but it's still like an important thing. And you take this cap off, and it's one smooth motion. You just have to be sure of it, and then make sure to sort of put it all the way in. I'm a child, sorry. And then you press, and that's it. So those are the things that I'm doing at night. You have to do it at the same time every night. The app has been really helpful, actually. It reminded me of everything. See you tomorrow, or maybe I'll film on Wednesday to let you know how the morning injections go. Starting tomorrow, I have to inject myself in the mornings as well as in the evenings, and I'm going for a scan on Wednesday. So yeah, literally today when I said that I've only ever needed one needle, I couldn't get all the medicine in because they got a little twisted, whatever. I needed a spare needle, but it's okay because they come with lots of needles. Also, you dispose of the tips here and you keep the pen. And when the pen is done, of course, you can also dispose of it here. So yeah, just wanted to show you guys that. They are doing construction work outside. But I also don't want to close the window because it's really warm. I'm so sleepy. The medicine is making me so sleepy. I went to bed so early yesterday, and yet here we are. I'm also not sleeping great because of the injections. I've talked on this channel before how I've had insomnia issues for a long time, but in this case, it's the injections. I started the morning injections. I remember the nurse saying I could do either the stomach or the thigh, but on the app it says thigh, and I think I'm gonna go for the thigh just because I'm already injecting my belly. Seems like a better idea. These are pre-filled with one dose, so I have 6 of them, but it's pretty much the same principle. Fire metal. There we go. Again, not saying that everyone gets prescribed this, just showing you for anyone who's interested. Okay, let's get on with this. All right, so I don't remember the last thing I filmed, and I haven't been editing this video as it goes, which I should do because if not, it's going to be way too long. But anyways, I just wanted to give a brief overview of what the scans were like and what the counseling session was like. Tonight is my last injection. I already had my last medicine injection, and now I have what is called the trigger, which has to be at a certain specific time because it's very controlled, and my procedure is already booked for Tuesday. So it's been exactly 14 days since, well, I guess not really. It's been 13 days then, if we count sort of day 1 of the cycle. And so the scans were all right. I had the option of doing one of them at a different location. Excuse my hair, I just washed it and it's a bit wild. Nearer to my work, I had my 3rd scan. So they count the one that you do before the procedure as your first one. My 3rd scan was last Friday, and they said it's working, the medicine has been working, but we are still going to give you 2 more days worth of medicine. And that was an extra 360 quid. So I'm going to do a full-on breakdown in the description, and I'm going to be very depressed when I do it. And then you have the trigger on Sunday at 10:30 p.m. So my procedure is going to be at 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday. The counseling was actually really helpful, and the counselor was this lovely woman who was also very aware of the trans aspect or factor, and so she framed the entirety of the session in regards to me doing this because of HRT. I think she also assumed I was straight, which was funny. I will, of course, do a bit of a wrap up after the procedure is done to tell you what it was like, and we'll see if it's worth it. I guess I won't really know until, I don't know, I want to be a father, but yeah, it is what it is. And hey guys, it's D-Day. I haven't drunk water since midnight and I'm so thirsty because you are not supposed to, but also the medicines make you so dehydrated. But you know, I hydrated a lot beforehand, so hopefully that'll tie me over. I showered, but you can't use soap, you can't use deodorant, you can't brush your teeth. You have to not wear any jewelry, which is understandable, or like nail polish, whatever. So yeah, I'm about to walk to the clinic now because it's that close. I might take the bus back. We'll see how I feel after. Wish me luck, guys. Although by the time this is up, all of this will be behind us. Ooh, started recording already. Let's just go with it. Oh, my hair's a mess. The window's open because, I don't know, nice rainy air. Yeah, so it's been a day since I had the procedure. And I'm okay. I'm alive. I am tired, but not extremely. Like, I feel like my body kind of knows, okay, there is no more of this weird medicine we're pumping into your body. It's starting to flush out. I'm still like sore and achy, a lot of cramps, so I've been taking paracetamol twice a day, I think. And they followed up a bit of a lot. I'm kind of like, I don't want to do another cycle regardless of the result. I'm not going to, so I'm just not putting myself through that. I'm starting tea in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, but just about like a week and a half. My body has been through a lot and I feel pretty worn out, and so I just wanted the hormones to wash away from my body before I pump it full of new sort of foreign hormones. I am still very excited for HRT, of course. The process was painful but very quick. I am so glad that this is done. I'm trying not to feel like I'm obligated to use them now just because I've been through all of this. Oh my god. The camera is don't look at my pile of shame. Those are my unorganized books, which in my defense, a lot of them are proofs and stuff like that and review copies. So let's don't TBR shame. Anyways. Yeah, so on my part, I am happy that I did it. I think it's a beautiful thing to do. I am privileged to have been able to do it, basically. But doing a second cycle would mean another month of this. Collection itself is like 2,000, but you need more exams and more medicine. And I don't have the money nor the patience for that. And honestly, psychologically, I couldn't take it. I admire people who can, but for me, my priority is to start HRT. Talking about the clinic itself, if you're considering the London Women's Clinic, or if you want to know what a good clinic functions like. So I got there at 10. They asked me to be there 30 minutes early, and they actually didn't make me wait at all. As soon as I got there, they called me in. Everyone introduced themselves. They were really nice. They were really polite. They didn't misgender me. One of the nurses actually was like, "Hey, Mr. Tolosa," and that was really nice. And that's my last name, by the way. They gave me biscuits and water after the procedure. I could be listening to music or whatever. I was listening to an audiobook. I will get to that in my September wrap up because that's funny. And they like explained everything as it was happening. They always let me know that if the pain got too much, they would stop. I should just say. They were reassuring. They were like, "You're doing great." So I'm just really grateful. They gave me a letter with some information, and then today they called me, and then I have a follow-up appointment on Monday just to like discuss the results and see what the next step forward is and what I want to do with the eggs. But basically I'm going to store them indefinitely. Would I recommend this process? It's a really personal thing. To me, it's the kind of thing where I did it because I could, and at the time it seemed like a really good, sensible, beautiful idea. I don't think it's necessary. If you are more on the fence than not, you can always try and do the same process after HRT. It's harder and you need to stop tea for a while, but it's not impossible. Trans masc people who have gone through transition do get pregnant and can get pregnant and carry pregnancies to term. So it's really a very personal thing. Thinking ahead of the future, and because I would love to be a father someday, I think it was a nice shot to do since I got to do it. Again, if your physical conditions are different, maybe see if egg donation and egg sort of sharing could be right for you, because maybe then it would be cheaper. Maybe try some sort of NHS process if you can. But if you are set on doing it, the London Women's Clinic is pretty great. They made an experience that was really intense, really heavy, really dysphoria inducing, and really frustrating at times. They made it as good as it could be and as speedy as it could be. And they were very professional but not cold. They were always friendly. So I definitely do recommend them. If you are going through this, regardless of your gender, I would just say be prepared, have a lot of time off, and warn sort of your support system so they can be there for you. I hate bothering other people, and yet I had to in this case because I felt really crabby and I felt so tired all the time. I had to cancel a bunch of things and it was a whole thing. Just be prepared. Is my advice, and think about it like really, really carefully. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's really different. I just hope it was helpful. And I will be back with actual book related videos in my next video. See you next time.